How many poetry books do you have? Let me know in the comments. I have 11. My name is Jim. This is my channel. Books, reading and stuff. 11 books is not a lot. Poetry is not a medium I'm very comfortable with. Since September of last year, I've been trying to put out a poetry reading every Thursday to familiarize myself more with this medium. I'm very comfortable reading novels, but poetry, it's something else. And I'll show you those poetry books. Here, possibly my favorite poet, Emily Bronte. This is one of these small black penguins. The night is darkening round me. In here is the Old Stoic, which is probably the only English poem I can recite by heart. It's only 3 verses, so it's not very big. Riches I hold in light esteem, and love I laugh to scorn, and lust of fame was but a dream that vanished on the morn. I won't tell you the rest. Then I have Shakespeare. The Poems and Sonnets of William Shakespeare, which I've just started reading in the past month or so. This is quite a new book for me. From William Shakespeare to the Russian Shakespeare, maybe. This is Alexander Pushkin, selected works, and Pushkin is revered by the Russians like the English revere Shakespeare. Pushkin famously died in a duel in his 30s. These are poems translated from the Russian. I don't read Russian, so if they were in Russian, it would be no use to me. This is Joolz, Jules Denby, Emotional Terrorism. Jules was a punk poet. This is how she looked in her punk days. Now she's just celebrated her 70th birthday. She's not sporting the flame red hair anymore. I saw her perform a few times in the 1980s. She often played with New Model Army, a band from Bradford in England, and I like her poetry. Going further back in my life, Now We Are Six, this was one of the first books I had by A A Milne, famous for Winnie the Pooh, of course, but these are different poems like when I was 1, I was just begun. When I was 2, I was nearly new, etc. Until it's now I'm 6. I'm clever as clever. I wish I could be 6 forever and ever. I wasn't 6 forever and ever. Now I'm 60. Another one for children, but this one is Lexebi by Nodar Dumbadze. This is for Georgian children. I got this because I thought it would help me to learn Georgian, to read simple poems for children. My Georgian is still very elementary. Another Georgian poet, Galaktion Tabidze. This is a bilingual copy. They have Georgian on one side, English on the other. I've learned one of his poems in Georgian by heart. Kari Kris, Potlebim, Krian Kataka, etc. It's about the wind whirling. One of the problems with poetry is it can't really translate adequately from one language to another, because it's not just the meaning of the words, but the sound of the words that are important, and the words sound different in different languages. Carry, wind, carry and wind. This carry is wind in Georgian. It doesn't sound like wind and carry sound very different. Kari Kris, the wind is blowing. It's very different. Talking of Shakespeare and Georgians, Georgian's most revered poet is probably Shota Rustaveli, and this is his Hamlet, as it were, the knight in the panther skin, 12th century poem in Georgian Vepkrist Khaltsani. It's about Queen Tamar, who the Georgians know as King Tamar. She was a woman, but she was a monarch in her own right, and the Georgians' word for queen, Dedopali, is just a woman who's married to a king, and Tamar, so is Mepe, king, because she ruled in her own right. I bought this very recently. I've spent too much money on it. It's translated by Coffin, who got the Sabre Award for translation for this. It's in quatrain verse, which is a style of Iranian or Persian verse at the time. Stalin famously knew this by heart, as a lot of Georgians know this by heart. I couldn't imagine learning such a long poem by heart. Another very popular Georgian poet is Vazha Pshavela. This is 3 poems by him, and this is a version in Georgian, Russian, and in English. Unfortunately, the English version, it loses the magic of the Georgian, and I can't read the Georgian. Vazha Pshavela is one of the favourite poets of many Georgians. Favourite poem of many Scotsmen is Rabbie Burns. These are the poems and songs of Robert Burns. And then finally, a book I've used a lot on Poetry Thursday, the Penguin Book of Contemporary Irish Poetry. This has many great Irish poets like Seamus Heaney, Evan Boland, Paul Muldoon, and so many more. And I really like this book of verse. It's looking a bit battered now. So these are my books of poetry. Can you tell me about yours or show me yours? I know this is not Thursday when I put out poetry. This is Tuesday. Usually I put out a tag video on Tuesday, but I put out the Sod's Law tag on Friday because Friday was Friday the 13th and it seemed fitting for the Sod's Law tag. I can link to that here. If you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. This will help me with the YouTube algorithm, and I shall see you on the next video. Goodbye.